Alhamdulillah.
Yeah, started.
Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alamin. Wa akibati muttaqin wassalatu wassalami ala Rasulillah Muhammadan wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Amma ba'd. Ya, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today we're going to start Surah Yasin. It's our introduction, our first class on the actual surah itself, because all this while we have been doing preliminary lessons to prepare us in order to do the Irab of Surah Yasin. But for today, it's just an intro, and I want to share with you a book. It's a PDF book that was shared with us by our Sheikh Hilmi from my tafsir class, yes? And the name of this book, maybe you have heard of it before, is Mafatih Sawara Quran Kareem. Yes, so this is actually the key to the surahs in the Quran, and it was compiled by an Ustad named Salah, Ustad Salah Ahmad Al-Kabandi. Al-Kabandi, yes. So I'll be sharing this in the group. And what I find good about this book is that it has facts and figures about the surahs in the Quran. Yeah, so it's pretty informative in that sense. Yes, and he explains to you what is it that he does in this book. Yeah. So as you can see here, right, he will talk about the names of the surahs. Yeah, he will talk about the names of the surahs. And then he will talk about the type of classifications that you can find in terms of the surah itself. For example, you can classify it according to the time of revelation. Yes, you can classify it according to the whether it's long or short. Yes, and you can also classify it according to how you open the surah. Yes, how you open the surah. So, what do you mean by how do we open the surah? So, there are how do we say thematical things that you can do with the each surah or chapter of the Quran, and how you open the particular surah, right? So here we see 10 ways of looking at it. Yeah, 10 ways of looking at it. When the surah opens in praise of Allah, this is quite straightforward. This is something that we see with Surah Al-Fatiha, for example. It starts with Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Yes, so that is a straightforward praise of Allah. Yes, As-Sana'u is another word for praise. Or it can start with like our Surah Yasin, disjointed letters. Yeah, letters from the alphabet, or what we call huruf muqatta'ah, the disjointed letters. Yes, so there is Yasin, there is Taha, yes, there is Hamim, and then there is Alif Lam Mim, Alif Lam Ra. Yeah, so these are the disjointed letters. Then also we have surahs that start with a nida. And this is like when they're calling to someone. Ya ayyuhan nas. Ya ayyuhallazi nakafaru. Yeah, these are all nidas. And then what we call jumla khabariya, just a simple declaration or just a statement. Okay, this is something like Surah Al-Anfal, for example. Sa'alunaka anil anfal. They ask you about Al-Anfal. Yeah. So these are surahs that start with just a simple statement. Or it can start with an oath, your famous qasam. Yes, this is things like walas, yeah, or wasafat safa. Yeah, these are all oaths. Or even conditional. Conditional in what sense? What do you mean by conditional here? Things like iza waqa'a, yeah, or iza ja'a nasrullah. Yes, so these are conditional. When this happens, this will follow. Yeah, so these are conditional openings. And of course, we have surahs that open with commands. Now, can you think of one that opens with a command? Any?
Sabbihisma rabbika.
Sabbihisma rabbika is more like in praise of. Yeah.
I think it's sabbih. Sabbih
Sabbih.
is command.
Okay, all right. And another one, a simpler one maybe, more straightforward one. Sabbih. Mm. Our last three surahs starts with
Oh, Kul.
yeah, cool. Yeah, so these are the easier ones, the one that's more straightforward to understand as a command. Say, yeah, say. Questioning. What about questioning? Questioning would start with maybe amma yasa'alun, yeah, something like amma yasa'alun, or maybe hal atani alal insan, yeah. So these are questions. And prayer usually it's a dua, yes, it's a dua. I'm thinking of things like wailul lil mutaffifin, okay, or wailul li kulli hamazatul lumazah, yeah. So there's one surah though that starts with reasoning, and only one. And this one is Li Ilafi Quraish. Li Ilafi Quraish. Yeah. It means Allah is basically saying about the Quraysh, I have given you this and this and this. So please be my abd. No? Please make prayer to me. Yeah. So this is just one surah with reasoning. So then we have things like numbers that's connected with the surah. Yes, numbers that are connected with the surah. And we talk about the number of verses and its average length. Yes, the number of pages, the number of lines in the surah, the number of words, the number of letters, and the number of the word lafzul jalala. Yes, the word Allah itself appears in the surah how many times? Yeah, so these are some of the things that he has compiled inside this book, which I thought would be interesting for us to know. And then we talk about the order of the surah. Now, the order of the surah can come in many ways. Yes, for example, when it appears in the Musaf. Yeah, what number surah is it in the Musaf, in the Quran itself? Or when was it revealed? Yeah, the order in which it was revealed. Or according to its length, how long was this surah? Number what in terms of length? Yeah, so this is something that he's also done. Then he talked about where in the Quran does the surah occur. Okay, this is what we call mawqi', the position or location of the surah. And I think maybe perhaps this was done before the pages came in. Maybe. I do, yes, but I'm thinking along those lines, yeah, because what they do is they, as you know, they've divided the Quran into 30 parts, 30 juzuk, right? And each juzuk has its own hizb, yes? So we have two hizb in a juzuk. And then inside each hizb, yes, we have the quarters, the first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, and the whole hizb. So when you want to locate the surah during those days, yes, you will actually tell which juzu, which hizb, which quarter, or half, or three quarters that the surah occurs, and then they will know where it is. Yeah. Then hajmu is the size of the surah. Yes, we'll look at this later. And then the letter at the end of each verse. Just now I mentioned about the number of... Sorry, there was an echo.
Mr. Farzana, I think your mic is...
Sister, I just joined with my computer. I'm sorry because I couldn't see the script, so I'm sorry for disturbance.
Oh, no, it's okay.
No problem.
Maybe it's not big enough and I can't make it bigger. Yeah, that's the problem. Okay. Thank you. So anyway, we were talking about the word Allah, right? And I think I mentioned this once before, that there is one surah in the Quran where the word Allah appears in every verse. Can anyone remember which surah we are talking about here? Sis Fazana, would you know which surah will have the word Allah appearing in every verse of it? No? Sister Bibi?
Yeah, we did have this question, right?
Yes, and you did answer it.
Did I?
Yes, you did.
Or is it Surah Maryam? No. Or is it Surah
This,
Maryam? No,
no, it's not
forgot.
Surah
Okay.
Maryam. It is the surah where there was the woman who was complaining.
Oh, Mujadila. Okay.
Yes, right? Okay. The
Mujadila.
word Allah appears in every verse of that surah. Okay. But in Surah Yasin, it only appears 3 times. Yeah. So Allah has His plan. Then letter at the end of each verse, just like we've just finished the tafsir of Surah Al-Kahf, and what letter appears at each end of each verse of Surah Al-Kahf. Only one letter appears. Does anyone know that one?
Which surah you said?
Surah Al-Kahf.
Al-Kahf?
Surah Al-Kahf, yes.
Oh.
So what is the last letter for each verse of Surah Al-Kahf?
Hmm.
You have to open the surah and see.
Open the surah.
No, sometimes we read the surah and we're not aware. Yeah? We are not aware until someone points it out to us, and then we realize, mashallah.
It's always
Yes.
Alif.
Yes, it is always Alif. Yes, always Alif. For Surah Yasin, only 2 letters, Nun and Mim. Yeah, Nun and Mim. Then he talks about the tahzib of the Quran, the partitioning of the Quran. Now, this is important, yeah, because we need to know when a verse begins, when a verse ends, for so many reasons, yeah. And there is one science, they call it Ada'aya al-Quran, yeah, this means the counting of the verses. And I think one way is doing what we do when we do the mauqi', yes. Another way is a method that he talks about in this book. We don't have the time to go through it, but once I've shared the PDF, maybe you can have a look at the chapter on how he explains it. Yeah. So why it's important? Because to memorize, yeah, to memorize and to read, especially for those who intend to be imams in Salah, right? And you need to know when something ends and begins. You need to know when to recite and stop and when to start back. Your signs of waqaf and ibtida. Yes, so these are the things that why this is important. Then we have, of course, the merits of the surah. This is typical. This is typical. Of course, we want to know what is important for that particular surah. Why is this surah? Why was this surah revealed in the first place? Yes, so that's why we need to know the fadla. And then we need to know the relationship of this surah with the rest of the world. Yeah, basically, with the surah before it, with the surah after it. And then within the surah itself, what is the relationship between the verse, yeah, the verses before and the verses after? And of course, we will also want to know, is there a relationship between the beginning and the ending of the surah? So all this would be under tafsir, actually, basically. Yeah, it will be elaborated under tafsir, but it is mentioned in this book as like a summary. So that's why I thought it would be very useful for us to have a look at it. The hassa is the characteristics of the surah. What is it about this surah that makes it special? Yeah. Then bikhbar is the Arabic word for axis, but I will translate it like this. The central theme of the surah, what is it about? Yeah, so this is what Mafatih talks about. Then we have the normal divisions of the Quran. Yeah, we need to know also how the Quran itself is divided. Yeah, and we talk about basically 4 parts. The first part being the 7 long verses. I think we know about this. Surah Al-Fatiha right up to Surah At-Tawbah. Then we have the second. Yes, these are the hundreds. Yes. Then we have the third part, which is the Masani. It's called Masani because it comes after the hundreds. And the fourth part are the Mufassal, the short surahs that you see towards the end, yeah, from Surah Al-Kahf up to Surah An-Nas. And the Mufassal themselves are divided into three: the short, the medium, and the long. Yeah, this one you can find in any good search engine. You will be able to see what are the surahs and how the Mufassal is divided, and so on and so forth. Yeah. So that's generally what the book talks about. And he tabulates the thing in a table, usually something like this. Yeah. So this is what we talked about: the classification, the number, the order, the location, the size, yes, about the letters, about the partitioning of the Quran. Yeah. So in this case, this particular table is about Surah Yasin, and we see that it is a Makki surah. Yes, it is a Makki surah, meaning that it was revealed before the Hijrah to Medina. Yeah, before Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam went to Medina. So that is a Makki surah. It comes under the Masani. Yes, under the Masani, meaning that it is probably shorter than 100 ayahs. Yes, it is actually. It only has 83 verses in Surah Yasin. Okay, let's have a look at Yasin itself. Yeah, its name. What are the names that the Surah Yasin is called by? Yasin. Yeah, this is the most famous of all. Yeah. And the other names that I'm about to share actually are not commonly known, but I believe the heart of the Quran is well known in this part of the world, in Southeast Asia. Yeah, the heart of the Quran. We say, yeah, it is the heart of the, or the, but if what it is actually from what we call a gharib tradition, meaning a gharib tradition is when the hadith is narrated only by one narrator for that particular time. Yeah, for that particular time. Yes, so it's something that was rarely heard about. Yeah, and Al-Albani said that actually the hadith is weak. Yeah, it is in a gharib tradition, and the hadith is weak. Yeah, but somehow or other, it the name, the heart of the Quran has stuck for Surah Yasin in this part of the world. Yeah. Other names that it is known by, yes, is Mu'immah, Dafi'ah, Qadiyah. Yes, and what does it mean? Basically, Mu'immah it is said to contain a lot of goodness. Yeah, and it takes, what it does is when you read it, it suffers in one state, meaning it takes away your suffering. Yeah. Dafi, I think we know Dafi is to repel. Yes, so this protects us from all evil. Yeah, Dafi, it repels all evil. And it was also known as Qadiyah because it's supposed to help fulfill every need. Yes, just like uh, yeah, qadar, yeah. So it fulfills every need. But even this comes from a weak hadith. Yeah, and these names are not known among the majority of the al-mufassirin. Yeah, only certain quarters. My numbering has gone. Okay. The fifth name is actually a character that's supposed to appear in the surah itself. This is, if you remember, in verse number 20 in Surah Yasin, there came a man running from the furthest end of the city to warn the people of the city, please follow what these messages have to say. Yes, and this man's name, according to Ibn Abbas, yeah, radiallahu, is Habib an-Najjar. Yeah, Habib an-Najjar. And sometimes this surah is known by this name. Okay, but it's not mentioned in any authentic hadith. But among the Mufassirin, this name is well known. Yeah, Habib an-Najjar is well known. Okay. Then let's talk about the classification. We said it belongs to the Mathani. Yeah. It's a Makki surah. It's the 26th one to be revealed out of the 86 that were done before Hijrah, that were revealed before Hijrah. And its length, yeah, it's number 18 of the 30 Masani surahs. And its opening is, of course, the letter. But I would like to, there is a note aside for this, yes, because another way of opening this surah is actually nida, a call. Because some say Yasin actually is a nida. because of the ya. Yeah, so there is some hilaf there. But as far as we are concerned here, it is the opening letters of the alphabet. Yeah, and this is the 19th surah to open in such a way out of the 29 that starts with the huruf muqatta'ah. And there's only 2 letters, harfan. There are there are surahs that start with just 2 letters. Like I said, Taha, Tasin. What else? Yasin, Ha, Mim. Anything else? Can anyone else remember? No? No. Okay. But this is number 3 of the 9 surahs that begins with 2 letters. Yes. And there's only 1 surah that says Yasin. Whereas the others like Hamim, for example, I think there's 5 if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. The middle 40s somewhere there. Yeah. Okay. Then the numbers for Surah Yasin. Yes, it is medium in length, 83 verses altogether. Yes. And there is 5.8 pages. This comma means point. Yeah, this comma means point. And there are 84 lines in the surah. 724 words. Yes. And 3020 letters. And as I said before, the word Allah appears 3 times only in Surah Yasin. Yeah. How the words are counted, according to the writer of the book, yes, is used. They use the Kufiyun method of counting the words. Yes, because the different grammarians have different ways of defining a word in your surah. Okay, so now in terms of order, the Mus'haf is number 36, 36 surahs in the Quran. Yes, it's the 41st to have been revealed, and it is the number 38 in terms of length. Yeah, in terms of length. Then we talk about the mawqi, the location. This one, I think you see this in your Quran, in your Mus'haf. Yes, well, everyone's familiar with this. I'm not going to talk much about this one. You can read about it, yeah, once we share the PDF. Yeah. So the purpose, as we said before, is so that you can facilitate recitation and the memorization of the Quran. And this is why it was divided in this way. Then hajmuha is the size, yes. Some surahs are long enough. Usually only the 7 long ones. You may have a complete juzuk in one. Okay, you may have a complete juzuk in one. But all the others is always part of a juzuk. Yes, like in this case, it's only 0.3. Yeah, 0.3 of a juzuk. Is in the Surah Yasin is part of a juzuk. Yeah, it's part of a juzuk. This is basically what he's saying. Then we talked about the letters. Remember, Nun and Mim. Yes. Yeah. And here, I'm just putting you a few things. Something that you might be interested in. Like I said, there is a complete surah whose breaks end in one letter. That's Surah Al-Kahf, which is Alif. And then, of course, Surah Yunus and Surah Yasin, both breaks in 2 letters. And the one with the most number of letters is Surah Hud, yes, where 12 letters are mentioned. Yeah. So this is the extent and detail to which our scholars have studied the Quran. Yeah, we're not talking only just about tafsir. We're not only talking about tajweed. We're not talking about why it was revealed, who first heard it and things like that. They've broken it down even mathematically. Statistically, they have done this, yes, with the Quran. And we're not talking only about Muslim scholars. We're talking about non-Muslim scholars who have chosen to dissect the Quran from front to back, yeah? Probably in the interest of proving that the Quran is not a miracle. But what we have seen over the years, yeah, over hundreds of years, the Quran remains a miracle. Yeah, remains a miracle. Allahu Akbar. So Fadl is the virtues of the surah. Yeah, and I've translated it a bit here for you. Yeah. So here we say that on the authority of Jabir bin Samra, yeah, the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam used to recite in the morning with Yasin. Yes. And this is a hadith that is Hasan. And here as well, the Prophet talked about, the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam talked about how he was given in the place of the Torah the seven. Yeah, the seven here, there are two opinions what the seven means. The seven as in the seven long surahs, or the seven verses of Al-Fatiha. Yes, so there's some opinion about this one. There are two opinions about this. And then in the place of the Psalms or the Zabur are the hundreds, and in the place of the Injil, the seconds, the Masani. Yes, and of course he was given the Mufassal. No one else received the Mufassal. Yeah, only he did. So he was given that particular recognition. Yeah, so that's one. And Yasin is, of course, part of the Mufas. Part of the Masani. And here's another one. If you recite the Yasin in the morning, it means that you will be given ease until the evening. And when you recite it in the middle of the night, you will be given ease until the morning. So this is also another transmission that's good. Yeah. Here, I think this one we know about this one. Said, yeah. Shahdo means, how do you say, the recognized people in who, lower, maybe one word I can say, his teachers, okay? His teachers, his teachers, the shuyus. And from among them were the tabi'in, told me, yeah, that when Ghadib bin al-Harith was severely ill, yes, they were asked to recite the Yasin in order to lighten the throes of death for him. Yeah, so this is also a good narration. So this is something that we do practice. I think we do practice. And here again, a similar saying about Surah Yasin reciting, but in this case, instead of easing things for you, you will remain free from sorrow or hardship until the evening. And if you recite it in the evening, you will remain free from sorrow until the morning. Yeah, and this is also has been authenticated. Yeah, so some of the merits of Surah, reciting Surah Yasin. Okay. Now, I've given half an hour for the introduction because we're now going to go and start on the Irab of this, yes? But I would like to discuss with you some opinions on the first verse before we do the actual Irab. Yasin. So one group of scholars said, there are a few aqwal about this. Only Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows the true meaning, and it's not permissible for us to analyze it because the intended meaning is unknown to us. Analyze your meaning, we shouldn't do Irab for it. Yes, we shouldn't do Irab, grammatical analysis. And then some says that they actually the letters from the alphabet. Yes, and the purpose of having these letters in front of some of the verse of the surahs is actually to attract attention and to inform the Quraysh that, hey, look, this is the Quran. It's written in the language that you speak you speak with every day. So see whether you can come up with something similar with it. Yeah. So this is another opinion of what these letters mean. Yeah, and I mentioned just now that one of the aqwal is that Yasin is actually like a nida. Yes, Yasin, and Sin is like an abbreviation of insan. Yeah, so it actually means something like Ya insan. Yeah, something like that. And there are other opinions that say, yeah, because it doesn't have any haraka. Yes, in your mushaf, Yasin does not have any haraka. It just appears like that. So some say that this is just like a number, just like here, yeah, a number. It's you stop at it, walk up, so there's a sukun on it. So you don't make Irab for it because there's no change in the endings. Yeah. So some say Yasin one of the names of our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Yes, some say Yasin is one of the names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Yeah, but this is ijtihad, yeah, based on what they know, the scholars know. Yes, and some even say, of course, it is the name of the surah, which is the easiest to understand it with. Yeah, okay. So this is the whole of my slideshow today. Yeah, and now we're going to do our normal Irab of a surah. I think those of you who have been with us know how the Irab process takes place. Yeah, so we'll do this now, inshallah. I will stop the slideshow and we will begin with here. Okay, who is in the class now with us? How many of us? Sister Ralin, you're here. Good, alhamdulillah. Sister Siti is here too. And Sister Ima, good. Who is not familiar with how it is conducted? Can you let me know? So I'll go slow. I think Sister BV and Sister Nazma is familiar. Yeah.
Sister Nazma
Sister
left.
Zurida, I am familiar, but I have since I'm all the time with Qirat, so now it seems to me as if I have forgotten the names. But inshallah, with this practice, it will help me to uh, recall it, inshallah. Like I'm
Inshallah.
not naive or the beginner, but like I'm not as good as the rest of the sisters are.
You know, sometimes whether we are good or not depends on the day itself as well. I think Sister Vivi will tell you that, inshallah.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
But
so
Alhamdulillah, so far what you have said, Alhamdulillah, it's very easy, very informative, very interesting, and I learned a lot with the introduction.
Alhamdulillah, that's what we aim for, inshallah. Okay, now Yasin, Yasin. Wow, what could we? Okay, so we are not going to look at the first two opinions or the aqwal that we saw just now. One saying that we shouldn't do any irab. Yes, the first aqwal. The second aqwal said, yes, you can do. You can assume that this is the name of the surah. Yes, or to something to that effect. But there's a third group of people, and this is the group of people we belong to. We want to do some analysis of Yasin. So how can we go about this? Yes, what are the ways that we can go about this? So let's do a little tarkib table. I like to do tarkib tables. Yes. Tarkib here, the term for those who are new with us, tarkib is just basically a technique that you use. Yes, a technique that you use so that you can translate the word. But what could we possibly translate Yasin to? Yep. But never mind. Let's see how. So let's take the word Yasin. Let's take the word Yasin. Yeah. Seen. Okay. So this particular group of grammarians said, why don't we try and see what happens in all the three possible cases of Irab? Okay, so first case, they said, if Yasin is in the place of Rafa. If Yasin is in the place of Rafa. We know what Rafa is, right? That Dhamma thing up there, just like this Dhamma here. But of course, this Dhamma is not at the end. When we talk about Irab, we are talking about the ending of the words, yes? Always the ending of the words. So if we say that Yasin is in the place, my brackets here represent the place of Rafa, yeah? What could Yasin possibly be? Okay, there are two options here. Yasin could either be Mubtada, agree? Yes, Yasin could either be Mubtada or it could be Khabar. Okay, let's take the first case. If Yasin we say is Mubtada, yeah, so if we say that Yasin is Mubtada, then what happens? Yeah, what happens? What follows it? Yes, what follows it? Wal Qur'anil Hakim, wal Qur'anil Hakim should be something like khabar. Yes, should be something like khabar. That means this whole thing. Yeah, I'm not talking about the word wal Qur'ani. I'm talking about this whole thing here. It's possibly khabar. So if we want to translate this, we will say Yasin is wal Qur'anil Hakim. Yeah, wal Qur'anil Hakim. Yeah. Do we have any problems? Do you think this is a reasonable era?
No, I don't think so.
Think. Why do you say so?
Because khabar is in rafa status and wal Qur'ani.
This one is fi mahali rafa. Yes, this is actually this whole thing. Yeah, fi mahali rafa. Yeah.
Okay.
So this is how we look at it. This is how they have looked at it. There's this possibility is here. So Yasin is indeed, or Yasin is by Allah Al-Quran al-Hakim. Yeah, this is one qawl. Does everybody understand that?
Okay, so it's fi mahali. Yasin also fi mahali.
Yes, Yasin is also fi mahali. Yeah, fi mahali. The other option is, okay, so meaning the other option is it is Rafa, but it is not Habar. Sorry, it's not Mubtada, sorry. It is Habar. So we have a Mubtada that is missing. I think we are very, very well aware that things go mahzuf, yeah, omitted here and there in the Quran. And they say we can also look at Yasin as Khabar, and we have a Mubtada that is missing, or Mudmar, or hidden. And this Mubtada is something like Hazihi. Hazihi. Yeah. So this is Yasin. Yeah. That's the second qawl. So the first one is Yasin is by but when you make an oath, right, by the Quran, by how do you say? There is an aqsam that is missing here. Uqsimu that is missing here. Yes. Wal Quranil Hakim. So you are actually taking an oath with the habar. Yes. But you're saying that Yasin is by something, something, something. Yes. Here you're saying that this is Yasin. Okay, the two options. They're not satisfied with the Rafa case. They say, okay, so that's one. Now, what if it is, what other position can it have? Sorry. One is Rafa. The next place can be, let's say, if it is Nasab. Okay, when this is Nasab. So when something is Nasab, usually it's Maf'ul, detail. Yes. So this is Maf'ul. Sorry, that's Lam. The translation and so then it's easier to do. So when there is a maf'ul bihi, you assume there is a fi'il. Yes, there is a fi'il. And in this particular case, they take the fi'il to be a command. Yeah, to be a command. And the command can be any of this. So one of it is ikra. What does ikra mean? Read. Yeah, we can say read. Okay, ikra. Sorry, because I can't see the sukun up there, so I'm adding the space before that. Oh dear, not working very well today. paragraph. It won't appear. Yep. So Iqra. So read what? Read Yasin. So this is your maf'ul bihi. So we saw two cases of rafa, one with it as mubtada, the other with it as habar. Then we saw it as in the case of nasab. Yeah. And the final case is, of course, what's the final case?
Kasra, when it is
Jar. Yes.
jar.
When it is jar, what happens here is we are saying another mazbu, yeah. We are saying here that why does it become jar? There must be a half that makes it jar, yeah? The half that makes it jar. So we are saying that there is actually a half qasm. The other code. Yeah, half qasm. And it's probably wa, because we have after all here wal Quran al Hakim. Yeah, so it's probably wa Yasin. And what is you're making the oath with what? The maqsum bihi. Maqsum bihi is Yasin itself. Yeah, that's why it's in the state of ja. Maqsum bihi. Yeah, like as if that's not enough. Yes, what happens is when you say it this way, what follows then? What follows then? Wal Quran al Hakim has to be treated in two different ways. Wal Quran al Hakim has to be treated in two different ways. So let's just put the translation here. So maybe that will help. Yes. So we're saying here, Yasin is. So maybe wal Quran al Hakim. Yeah. By the wise Quran. Is something else. Yes. Excuse me. Sorry, I was coughing just now. Here it would be this is Yasin. This is read, say, mention. Yeah, you can also put that instead of Iqra. And here, this is basically what we did here, right? By Yasin, by time, or what would we say, by the night, by the twinkling of the stars. I know there are many oaths that we say in the Quran. Okay, so once we do this, how we treat Wal Quran al Hakim is also different. Yeah, Wal Quran al Hakim is also different. So let's see how this happens. Okay, in the first case, if we say that it is not not this, yeah, if it's just a normal say like this one, fi'il, fa'il, fi'il with the maf'ul bihi, for example. Okay, so if we have something like this, the first part of it, then Wal Quran al Hakim will be treated in this way. This one. Oh dear, I hope there's space. Yeah, they adjust. Good. So this one now is treated in differently. Okay. So in this case, we can still say this wow is kasam, right? Because this is just a jumlah fi'liyah by itself, and then now we start with a new sentence, and this can be a kasam and maqsum bihi. So the harakas are okay. Yeah, they're okay. So this one is this is half kasam. I need another one, isn't it? Whether I can fit. So this wow isn't here. This wow is here. Sorry. At any time that you're not sure what I'm doing, yeah, just give me a shout and ask. So this one, if it is, this part here is just like a normal sentence, yeah, then wow, this and this one can be this, yeah, it can be this. Paste. It wants me to type, is it? Oh dear me. Okay. Something like this, and you know that Al-Hakimi is the sifah of Al-Qur'ani. Yeah. Yes, so this if is, we take this as a separate sentence and this followed by another sentence. However, if we use this Irab instead, yes, if we use this Irab instead, yeah, when we say that the wa itself, there is a missing wa, yeah, there is a missing wa. There is a missing wa, and Yasin has a half qasam that comes before it, but you can't see it, yeah, but we assume it is there. Then if in this case, then you cannot do this Irab for wal Qur'ani Hakim. The Irab has to be different. Yeah, so in what way is it different? Okay, let's put that. And let's put that. Okay. So now, oh, we need another two. 3 here, yeah. So we have to put this back in again. Now this time, I need your help. What do you think this wa is? Can anyone help me? So this was fine. There was no qasam here. This is just jumla fi'liyah, and then now we start a new sentence. Now in this case, where there is a qasam here, yeah, it's unfinished business. So what is this wa now? What can we call this wa?
Ataf.
Yeah.
Ataf? Yeah, okay. Did you say ataf? I hope it was ataf. Yeah.
It's the first one.
Good. Half ataf. So if this is half ataf, then what is Al-Qur'ani?
Mawsuf Sifah.
It would be Mausuf and Sifah here. Yes, this would be the third line. But in this case, this would be the Ma'tufa. Ma'tufa. Yeah, Ma'tufa. Ma'tufa, the one that follows, in this case, Ma'tufa ala. Ma'tufa ala.
Yasin.
Yes, ala Yasin. Yeah, ala Yasin. So that's why this is jar, because Yasin is also jar. So this is ma'tufah to Yasin. Hmm? And this is your sifa. Yes, correct. This is your sifa. I normally put the sifa at the bottom, yeah, because minor ones are down here. Also, this one sifa. Because the macro is up there, the micro is down here. Normally, yeah, that's how we would do it. All right. So we have covered Yasin wal Qur'anil Hakim. Yeah, wal Qur'anil Hakim. And we have just done the tarkib. We have not written the Irab for this yet. Yes, we have not written the Irab for this yet. We won't write the Irab for Yasin. Yeah, we leave it as it is. Yeah, because there's so many options. But we can do the Irab for Wal Qur'anil Hakim. Yeah, and I would like you to base this on this being the half. This one, this particular one. Yes. So, Sister Bibi, can you start off with this one? Yeah, this one. This is the box that I'm looking at.
Okay,
So
which
how
one?
would you?
The custom? Oh,
Yes, with the custom. Yeah,
the
that's right.
custom. Okay, I'll try. Bismillah.
Bismillah.
So the waw will be harf jar.
Okay, have jar wakasum. Yeah.
Jar wa qasam. Okay. And Al-Qur'ani is isim majroor bil kasr.
Is so maybe I'll do this like
Okay.
this.
Yeah.
Okay. This is isim.
Isim majroor bil kasra.
Okay. There is a name for it. We can actually call it maksum bihi. Yeah. But we can also put isim majrur. Why is it majrur?
Okay, isim majroor bil waw.
Yeah, bil waw.
Waw.
Majrur waw. And we do the long one. Wa.
Wa muqsim. Is it?
No,
Oh,
wa
wa alamat.
alamat.
Wa alamatu jarrihi al kasra.
Jarihi. All right. When we have something that is jar and majrur, yes, we normally will muta'ali it to something, right?
Yes.
So what is it being muta'ali to?
I think it's khabar.
Wait, how do you want me to write it?
متعلق
Mm,
بالخبر.
okay.
No, hold on. إنك اسم مبتدأ. طيب إنك لا من المرسلين. Yeah, it's متعلق to خبر مقدم.
Hold on, yeah. Wa al jar wal majrur. Muta'ali.
متعلق بالخبر.
I'm using kan here because it's both Jawa majrur. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So here we were using this, right?
Oh, okay. So fi'il.
Yeah, it's fi'il.
Okay, I'm looking at the innaka there. Okay. Okay, then it is متعلق بالفعل.
Okay, good.
متعلقان بالفعل, which is اقرأ.
اقرأ. Good. Alhamdulillah. I expect Iqra also. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Alhamdulillah. And Al-Hakimi. Who can do Al-Hakimi? Sister Fazana, would you like to try?
Ustaza, it's again the same that we did for Al-Qur'ani.
It's Isim Majroor, yes. But for what reason now?
Because since it's the sifa of the Qur'ani, so it's in status and in everything. It's in our four things. It's like Qur'ani.
Okay, so it's Sifa Majroora, yeah, bil Kasra. This is how you would write it.
Okay.
Okay.
Structure of
Okay, now I've written this in red because we are supposed to do the sa for this. Yes? Al-Hakimi. So Sister Nazma, would you like to try the sa for Al-Hakimi?
Sister Nazma is not here.
Oh, she's left us, is it?
She left a long time. She told you she has to leave.
Oh, I see. Okay, now who's with us then? I can't see.
Now we have Sister Ima, Diana, Sister Siti, and one more is, I don't know who is that, guest user.
Guess then. Okay, who would like to try? Sister Ima, would you like to try? Ima Diana, do I call you that?
I don't think I'm at the level where I can
You haven't
am
reached there.
able
Okay.
to try, so I'll take a pass. Thank you.
Okay, all right. So Hakimi, okay, our guest user, who would that be, Shava?
Ralin.
Oh, Sister Ralin, sometimes you have
So
your name there, sometimes you don't have your name there.
I don't know if my phone left from this group.
It's okay, I'll try and, okay, we'll look at the word, okay, I'll guide you, What are the root letters? That's the easy one first. What are the root letters?
Hakama.
Okay, Hakama. So obviously there is no additional letters, right?
Mm-hmm.
Except maybe the ya, maybe.
Yeah.
But actually this is a pattern. So, but there's no really any additional letters. Yeah, Hakama. So when we look up in our Hanswa, yeah, because we assume this is Mujarrad, we do a search. Ha, Kaf, Mim, Hakama. And then we go and see what's there. There is Hakama, Yahkumu. Is that right?
Okay.
Yeah. Hakama, Yahkumu. I hope everyone remembers why is it Yahkumu. Yeah. That is a pattern of the Mujarrad. So Hakama. We normally fix for Mujarrad family, it's always Ya.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm.
And there's always the Yah with a sukun. What we do not know is the harakah for the kaf and for the last letter.
Only kaf.
Yeah.
Mm.
So Yah, we don't know what the kaf is. We just know mu. This is always the standard form of fi'il mudari, which is ma'lum. Yeah, fi'il mudari, which is ma'lum. So this one is what we have to look at when we look at the dictionary. So we saw it just now. We were told it is ka, and the u is actually for this one. Okay? For the yahkumu. Yeah, yahkumu. Akama yahkumu. And hakim, yeah, is actually what we call sifah mushabbaha. Yes, we call it sifah mushabbaha, or in bayinah terms, it's called isim sifah. Mushabbaha. Why do I say it is sifah mushabbaha? Because we're talking about the quality of Allah, and it is something that is permanent. It's not an isim fa'il thing. Yeah, so it's sifah mushabbaha. something inherent. Yeah, so this is Al-Hakim. The pattern is Fa'il. Yeah, Fa'il. Okay, it's already 10 o'clock. And I don't think I'm able to cover the muta'alliq that I said I would cover with Kak Siti. But muta'alliq is something that is very important. I think you can see how important it is. So what I intend to do is there are two topics that I'll cover for the next class. Yeah. The first topic is muta'alliq because we were already talking about muta'alliq here. And the next topic is inna and lam muzahlaka. Now, who has heard of lam muzahlaka or who has not heard of lam muzahlaka? Can I have a show of hands, please? Who has or have not heard of lam muzahlaka? Okay. Sister Fazana, you have not heard of lam muzahlaka?
No, Ustaza, no, I
Oh,
have not. I may heard it. I have heard it, but I have forgotten it, so I don't know.
Oh, you asked who has not heard?
yes, who has not heard of lam
Okay, I
muzahlaka?
have heard, sorry.
Okay, so your hand has to go away now. Okay, Alhamdulillah. Okay,
No,
well,
it is.
good. But
Oh,
Sister Diana, you have heard of it before. That's good. Alhamdulillah. That's good. Okay, so we're going to cover those two topics.
I haven't heard of it before, and I don't know how to put up my hand. Sorry.
I see. Okay, there is one thing that says there, raise hand. So that's where you will put up your hand there. Yeah.
Yeah, I was trying to look for that, and I'm pressing everywhere.
Yeah, Alhamdulillah. We'll find our way, inshallah, in time. Okay. Yes, so Muzalaka is something I thought we would spend some time with because it's in the Quran here, there, everywhere. So it's good for us to know. Yeah, it's good for us to know what Lam Muzalaka is. Yeah. So, but Muta'aliq, we will go through Muta'aliq. Why Muta'aliq is important to go through. Yeah. I just do a quick one so that you know what we will cover next week a bit. Yes, so that you get a feel of it. Mhm. Okay, just give me 5 minutes of your time. Oops, sorry, wrong slide. Should start here. Okay, so we said there were different types of harf jar. Yeah, the one that you are looking at, the one that we saw in the Surah Yasin, mm, is asli, min. Yeah, min, wow, the wow kasam, that is all asli. But we have something called shabihun bizaid and zaidah, which is also half of jar. Yeah, but for the next class, we will only cover the asli, not anything else. Yeah, because I don't want to jump the gun, and I don't want you to get confused. So we are going to concentrate on the normal half jar asli. Yeah. So with half jar asli, it is muta'alliq to something. It is connected to something, always. Yeah. And that thing, we call it muta'alaq. Yeah, muta'alaq. And your muta'alaq can be a fi'il, like we saw just now. It can be something that looks like a fi'il. These are your mushtaqs. Yeah, mushtaq, your sifa mushabbaha, for example. And something that gives the meaning of a fi'il. It can be an isim, but it gives the meaning of a fi'il. Yeah, so your half jar asli can come in, is what we saw, what we learned, your ba, taf, kaf, lam, min, ila. Yeah, these are your normal half of jars, yes. And they are muta'alliq to your muta'alaq, and your muta'alaq falls into these three categories, okay? So we need to know how it connects when it is muta'alliq to a fi'il, yeah, when it is muta'alliq to a habar, yeah, when it's muta'alliq to something other than a habar, yeah, for example, yeah, and how to treat it, yeah, how to treat these things. So these are the things that we need to go through the next one, yeah, especially when the muta'allaq is mahzuf. This is where the complication comes in. So I hope this will help us, inshallah, with our future Irab later on. Yeah. So we're going to do Innaka Lamina Mursaleen next week. And perhaps the next 3 verses. Can you please prepare for the next 3 verses? When I say prepare, meaning please prepare for the Saf, yeah, as well. So here we have Yasin wal Quran al Hakim. We just managed to do these 2. So we're going to try and do this 5. Yeah, this 5. And then we see how we get from there. Yeah, inshallah, for next week. Okay, do you have any questions for me? Inshallah.
Sister Zurida, everything we have to try with Rafa, Nasab, and Jar.
Yes, for the
Every
isms. For the isms, yes. For the
for the
fi'il, you will have to take
only
Rafa,
Rafa and
Nasab, and Jazm. Yeah.
Rafat and Jazam.
Yeah.
And we will see that which one is befitting the sentence.
And so
Are
on.
we
So
will,
yes, we're going
oh,
to do that step by step because some of you are experts, some of you are not. So we
yes.
will follow the ones who are not first, yeah, until everyone is on even keel. Yeah,
Okay.
inshallah.
Okay, inshallah.
All right then. Okay then. So if there's no further question. Kak Siti, are you okay? Sis Siti, are you all right today? Survived? Your mic is on mute.
I'm trying Ustazah, inshallah.
Okay, inshallah. Yeah, okay. We just slowly, we'll see how it goes. And you can, I think when we do the muta'alliq bifi'il next week, inshallah, it'll be clearer for you. Yeah. All right then. Subhanallah wa bihamdik. Nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. So see you next week then, yes?
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله
Salam.
وبركاته. جزاك الله خيرا.
Amin wa iyyakum. Alhamdulillah.